Welcome back YouTube. My name is Dennis Panuta for tutorials.eu. In this video I would like to talk about a very important concept in Unity and also about keeping your project clean. Because so far we have simply created things. For example, we have created some assets, we have created game objects, but we haven't kept our assets folder, for example, tidy. And also we haven't used something very important, which is called prefabs yet. And I would like to talk about those things and show you how to use them correctly. So one thing is that we should have folders for the different types of assets that we're using. For example, one folder would be scripts, and in there we should have all of our scripts. So for example, our player movement and our trigger script. And whenever we create new scripts, we should also put them into our scripts folder. Then we have another one called materials, and we could even create two different ones. We could create a material one for simple materials and then one for physics materials. But I'm just going to use the same folder for both, and I'm going to drag my materials in there. You can keep your scene or your scenes outside of any folder, or you could also create a scenes folder. I personally prefer to have my scenes in my assets root folder, but of course you could go ahead and create an additional folder for that. Now, the next one that I would like to talk to you about is simply saving your scene. So it's really important to save your scene before you close your project, because scenes are not automatically saved when you close your project, and that could lead to you losing all of your game objects that you have within your hierarchy. So objects are all of those pieces here. Every single one of them is an object. The main camera is a game object, the directional light is a game object, the player is a game object, and so forth. And if we create a new object, we can simply create an empty object, which doesn't contain any information except for, I hope you know which thing is always there for every single object. It's the,
hey, don't forget to subscribe and like the video,
transform component. So every single object, even an empty one. So let's create a new game object, which is empty. It still has a transform component. All right, so you can create game objects this way. So 2D objects, 3D objects, and so forth. And those objects, they are within your scene. So whenever you, for example, close your scene, those objects are not available anymore. And if you want to make them available for example, other scenes, or in general want to reproduce them programmatically, what you can do is you can create prefabs out of them. So let's say we want to have this cube that we have created here as a prefab that we can reuse anytime. What we can do is we can drag that cube into our assets, and as you can see, it will be a cube.prefab. So it will be a prefabricate which we then can reuse anytime. So now if I delete all of my cubes from here, let's delete them. I can drag a new cube into my game anytime. So let's drag that in here. Let's reposition it a little bit. And now I can drag another one in here and so forth. So these cubes that I create in here, they are prefabs. And you usually create prefabs out of many different objects. All of those that you would like to reuse in different scenes, or that you would like to reproduce, for example, programmatically. A very important one that you always should have is your player, of course, because maybe you could die, or maybe you go into a different scene and you want to have the player with all of its capabilities in the different scene as well. So let's say a different level. You want to have the same player in level 2, 3, and 4. So it's really important to have it as a prefab so you can reuse it in a different scene. Okay, so now that we have this prefab and this cube prefab, let's create a new folder, create folder, and call it prefabs. And now let's drag all of our prefabs in there. All right. So that's really important. Prefabs are a very important aspect of game development with Unity, and we will use that quite often. All right, so that's it for this video. Now you know what game objects are, we have seen them before, but now you know even better. And then you also know how to use prefabs. Great. So in the next video, we will have a look at components. So see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a like. And if you have any questions or suggestions, then leave a comment. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. And by the way, if you really love the content and you would like to have more of it, or pretty much all of it, then of course, check out the link in the description to my whole course. See you in the next video. Fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands.